How do you follow that? Seen and heard the gospel lessons for both for Advent and Christmas Day in pageant form, more or less, except for a few bits, which you'll recognize as my own paraphrase. Not a translation, you understand, but a paraphrase. Well, here's the missing bits. Ready? While Mary and Joseph were in Bethlehem, Mary gave birth to her firstborn son. Because the Holy Family had no clothes for the baby, had no money, clearly, for the clothes for the baby, they wrapped him in rags. Because this family was homeless, clearly, they slept in a barn, which wasn't their own, but a barn. And they put their baby to sleep where the animals were fed. That's what a manger is, a feeding trough for animals. Not the whole building. You should think that. A feeding trough. We don't know what this family did for food, but we can imagine, can't we? Being in a barn in a feeding trough. And somehow, in this setting, glory of the Lord shone all around them, showering them with such love, showering them with such grace, that later, when this baby had accomplished the purpose for which he'd been born, his mother consoled himself with all these memories of his birth. Shepherds came, the story of having been told about the child by angels. I don't know about shepherds. They're not exactly the cream of society. They kind of smell like sheep. Sort of. And the shepherds worship this child in the manger. I know you know this part because we preachers like to make a lot about this, trying to urge you to do the same thing. Shepherds then went and told everyone they knew about the events that happened here. And all who heard the shepherd's story were amazed. Amazed that the angels came to shepherds. Were amazed that God had been born as a baby, was in a manger. The shepherds glorified and praised God for all they had heard and seen as it had been told them. And here's the questions. You know, we preachers get to ask questions. We leave it to you to answer them. So here's my questions for you today. Did the shepherds clothe the baby? Probably not. They were probably kind of poor. They did his close milk. Did they feed the baby? Not unless they brought sheep. Babies probably can't eat sheep, can they? And when the king began killing infants later, I know you know this story, so you know that happened later. Did these shepherds and others who worship this child shelter him? Give him a home? Shelter the other children, protect them, let them escape? They must have. Someone must have. See, true worship always seems to lead to helping others in the name of the one we worship. So my question is this: what gifts will you bring to this child in this manger? Sort of metaphorical, but also literal, because I'm going to ask you to bring your offerings to this child in this manger today. You didn't bring any, we got some hanging out here you can help us bring up. And where will our worship collectively of this child lead us this year? Whenever we get real comfortable in our worship, this child shakes us up and leads us to a barn, leads us to a new place. Hopefully he'll lead us to a barn with a world-class organ, huh? So here's my last question, because we preachers always ask this time of year. Who will we tell of what God has done for us? What this child has done for us? I ask these things in the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.